So let's say you're looking for a family milk goat, and you find yourself in an area where all you find are show goats and hobby goats and Nigerians possibly, which are very small producers, and you really want something that is more naturally raised, not from commercial lines, but is going to be able to produce milk for your family. Don't shy away from breeds that you hear more of a meat context with, Kikos and Savannahs, even some boar lines. A lot of these goats are successful as meat producing does because they have triplets and quads. And triplets and quads that they're raising on their own equals high milk production. So even though in the United States those breeds have not been bred for milk, if you find someone with a browsing grass-fed operation and they have does with high production, as long as they're easy to handle in a homestead environment, I encourage you to look at those as well. Historically around the world, goats are the number one animal raised for milk or red meat. There are far more goats across the world than any other. Actually, I believe it's than all of the other ruminants combined. When we look outside of our immediate culture, regionally or even in this country, we see a picture of a dual-purpose animal that is not separated into milk and meat. Traditionally, it was always for milk and for meat. I say leaner, more like a deer, than your wider sheep. The wider goats, the meat goats, that is a more modern thing. And so traditionally, because they were dual-purpose animals in some of these breeds, you can still find really good, docile milkers. The reason that I mention these untraditional, maybe more seen as meat breeds, is because in our culture now, a lot of the dairy industry with goats is either highly commercialized and there's not a lot of access. These kids are sold to a buyer at birth. They're not commercially available. The does are not ever retired into homesteading type operations, and they just live in milk houses their whole life. Then you have a lot of people that are showing goats, and there's nothing wrong with that, but there are not a lot of natural or holistic practices being done in those circles. So someone looking for a family dairy goat that is looking to treat their herd with a holistic mindset may have trouble finding a dairy goat that would thrive in this environment. Whereas in the meat industry, farmers are wanting to browse, whether it's a mobile land clearing operation or they're doing it more in the plains, and they are wanting to go more natural as people are looking for more natural sources of meat. And traditionally, the people in our country that are eating goat and sheep are more in tune to their roots and their heritage, and they do not want animals that have been treated with pharmaceuticals, treated with hormones, because it does not align with their values. A lot of times when we go to these farmers who are not interested in milking, they're just interested in healthy, natural, productive does, there's some real gems that can be found there if your area does not have anyone practicing natural dairy goats.